Hi, and hello, and welcome to Listeners Digest podcast. And we know what we are here and what are we doing here. So we digest content one episode at a time and one episode per life. So I'm Vivek. I am the anchor of the podcast, and I'm working as a software developer and doing this as a part-time. So this has been quite a long journey for me. Thank you for staying with me until now. We have spoken with some incredible upcoming talents in the past episodes and who has shown me some signs of brilliance. And on the same journey, we're going to go ahead and speak with some wonderful personalities that came across in my life. And stay tuned, and you're not going to get any kind of annoyed in the journey. And stay tuned with the Listen Digest and keep yourself updated. And thank you so much for being part of my journey. And let's get on with this journey. And what are we going to see today? Today's episode is all about linkability. So that is the topic of this episode. If you are wondering what linkability is all about, so it's all about instead of going and straight diving right ahead with the topic, this is very close to me. In fact, I was planning to do this from the first episode itself, but it's very hard to now start speaking about certain big topic in the opening of my podcast. So here we go. Here I start with this thing. What is linkability? So let me give you a quick story about how things started for me. It was around in 2017. That's when I completed and came out of college. So I've been searching for jobs here and right away. My big brother came to me and told, okay, go ahead and open a platform. He told me, okay, I asked what platform it is. So he said, go and open a platform, LinkedIn, and create an account for you. I asked why. He told me in latent answer, you have to get a job, right? Go ahead and open that platform. Okay, I thought, okay, that is the first impression for me in the platform called LinkedIn. In 2017. Okay, I, as a come out fresher, I just obliged to whatever advice I've been told, and I've created an account. When I went in, the first impression was, okay, all right, this looks good. And many areas were not easy at that time as well, not even this time. That's one more debate. Okay, there are a lot of jobs and a lot of people commenting and people searching on. And I've been seeing a lot of good personality. Okay, that's it. 2 days, that's over for me. I got a job maybe within 5 to 6 days after that, not through LinkedIn. Once I got a job, that thing faded away for me. Now only I came to understand that's where the problem lies. The usefulness and the intentiveness of the platform is being underutilized and understood by Indians especially. That's what this today's topic is all about, and how one could underutilize a platform and how we can get remedies from that, and who is best to speak that rather than an Indian expert. And I didn't say this about her because I want her to start things and say about these whatever experience she's had. So I'm going to warmly welcome my esteemed personality I saw in LinkedIn, Mrs. Lynnaire Johnston. Thank you so much for being part of this podcast. Welcome, Lynnaire, to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Vivek. It's very nice to be here.
Perfect. You have seen my initial introduction. So with LinkedIn, that's how my journey started with LinkedIn. So listeners and me would also be excited to know how your journey has started with LinkedIn. So can you give us a quick introduction on how you came across this platform? So how it happened for you?
Sure. Well, I've been a professional writer all my life. I've worked in radio, I've worked as a magazine editor, I've worked for not-for-profits. I've done just about every kind of writing job that there is. And in my more recent times, I ran a copywriting business. And it was while I was doing that I came across LinkedIn and obviously joined, like a lot of us did way back when, and thought that LinkedIn was merely a glorified or online CV. After a while, though, I realized that LinkedIn had more to offer than that. And once it made available the short form posting platform that we all now know and love, I realized it was an opportunity for me to share my knowledge on it. So I started writing about writing. That was what I was used to, was what I knew about was writing. And so I began writing posts about writing. But because I was relatively new to LinkedIn and didn't understand how it worked, I experimented with it quite a bit. And then I started to write about my experiments with LinkedIn. And the more I got into it, the more I met more people on LinkedIn, the more I tried new kinds of posting and all kinds of features that LinkedIn offers, the more I fell in love with it. And then over time, people started to ask me about it and ask me to help them with it. And so it just grew from there. And one morning I woke up to discover that the Social Media Marketing Institute of Australia had added me as a LinkedIn expert to their list of top 20 LinkedIn experts in Asia Pacific. I didn't consider myself an expert, so it was a real surprise to me. And on the back of that, during the year that we had COVID, I wrote my book, Linkability, which you have already mentioned. And from there, I have got a lot more international attention and interest and people coming to me for help with LinkedIn. And I still love it to this day. There are a lot more features available now than there were then. And it's not just a job site anymore either. It's now way more useful for people who have businesses, have small businesses, and want to network with other business owners or business professionals. And it's also a really super useful platform for networking and getting to know people all over the world. So you're in India, I'm in New Zealand. And isn't it great that we can meet on LinkedIn, get to know each other there, and look at us now. Here we are on your Listeners Digest podcast.
Interestingly put, and that's one of the most astonishing factors I love about LinkedIn is ability to network and able to meet different kinds of people. Even within India, I've sourced and spoke with multiple, we have multiple states here, right? So I spoke with multiple people as an event organizer myself. So I spoke with multiple people with the help of LinkedIn. So I shared posts. People ask me, why you do that? Although I didn't get global recognition until now, I've done nothing great such of that. But even within India, I've been getting, they were asking, so why are you doing that? Because still the perception is just a monotonous usage of the platform. But the power of platform is still not established among the larger audience. Although there is 20 to 30% audience, still they know the power of the platform and they're using it quite good. And thank you so much for sharing your journey on how we started it and how we are going. And I'm pretty much sure the journey is going to be in the upward direction in the graph. And on the same note, so I'll just ask you, you started as a beginner. So let's say I am starting as a beginner. So, and what are the things I need to now explore? One should not get overwhelmed with all the available features in LinkedIn, right? So let's say one is coming out of college, so they don't want to see, okay, there is jobs, there is networking, there is courses, and there are people, and there are business, there are companies. Okay, they don't want to get overwhelmed, right? So what they should concentrate on limited resources, but at the same time, they should get benefited as well in the process. So what advice would you give for beginners for their journey in the area of networking, especially in LinkedIn?
The very first thing that someone, when they're new to LinkedIn, needs to do is to set up a profile. Everything that you do on LinkedIn comes back to your profile. So you need to set one up that has a really good eye-catching banner, that has your profile photo on it, nice head and shoulders with a big smile. You need to put in a headline, and then you need to complete the other main sections on your profile. Now, those are the About section, which talks about what you do and what kind of achievements that you have made. Even if you're new to working, then you can talk about your academic career and what your aspirations are, what you would like to do. And it's really important to add your skills to your LinkedIn profile because that's how you will be found. And a lot of people don't realize that having their skills there is really important because it sits quite far down your profile. So there are a lot of things that you can put into your profile, but when you are starting out, those are the basics. And you need to fill in as well your experience section and your education if you are new to the platform and you haven't had terribly many jobs, because people want to really feel that they know a bit about you. This is much more than a CV. This is telling people more about the kinds of things that you are good at, but in your own voice, because the mistake that most people make is to write it in the third person. So that's he or she or they, instead of writing it I or me. And so writing it in the first person is a way to come across to people as friendly, but still professional. So absolutely the basics are to have a really good profile. Because if you start to reach out to people to network with them and ask them to connect with you, they will look at your profile. So you want them to go, wow, this person looks amazing, and stop and have a really good look so they will accept your connection invite. So the other thing to do when you are first starting out on LinkedIn is to build your connections. Start with the people that you know, the people who are on LinkedIn, people who you work with or have worked with in the past, fellow students, people that you know in your professional life, and add them as connections to LinkedIn. And then once you can get a decent sort of number of connections, start branching out to people that you don't know and inviting them to connect with you with a personalized message. Now, I am underlining that and putting an exclamation mark at the end because a personalized message will mean people are much more likely to accept your invite if they don't know you. So those are the two main things to start with, is a really good eye-catching and complete profile. Forget all the bells and whistles, just do the basics, and then start to reach out and build your connections with personal messages.
Actually, that was wonderful because that's how you start with your profiling, because and a lot of profiles are incomplete either, or it's been completed and certain important points are left out because they have no idea what point is important and what is being looked on. Thank you so much for starting with that point. In fact, that is one of my favorite things to come by. So on the same note, Lynnaire, thank you so much for that. So you've told for beginners how they will start with, right? So you've been telling 4 powerful strategies the beginner should follow in LinkedIn. So does this come in that 4 powerful strategies, or do you have any points to share on the 4 powerful strategies, especially for beginners?
I definitely have things to say about the 4 powerful strategies because they are really important, and I'll just go through them. So they are connecting, which is the first one that I've talked about. The second one is posting content. The third one is engaging on other people's content. And the fourth one is direct messaging. So we've already talked a bit about connecting with people, but I will just add here that it's important that when you do connect with someone, that you follow up with them, that you say thank you for connecting, and you open the door to conversation, because you want people to develop a relationship with you and build that know, like, and trust factor. So the way to do that, through conversation. And so that leads me on to direct messaging. And you can send people direct messages very easily in LinkedIn, and they're free once you've connected to people. And so you can send them as a text message, which is the one that most people use. The second one is you can send voice notes to people that are up to 60 seconds long. So that's a voice message. And the third one is you can send videos. Now, people don't usually use the video function, but it's very easy just to record a video and send it directly to people who are in your LinkedIn connections. Now, imagine if people did that more and we got to know them better through the videos that they sent us, wouldn't we feel special and really warm towards people? So voice notes and videos are the two things that people are not using nearly so well when it comes to direct messaging that I think that they should. The next one is posting. That's posting content. And there are a lot of different formats that you can choose for posting. But the one that's most popular right now is video. And that's because LinkedIn has recently launched a standalone video feed. You can only access it on the app on your phone or your mobile device, and it will show you videos from different people. So LinkedIn, when it launches new features, likes to give them a bit of a nudge through its algorithm. And so videos are doing really well right now. And I like the fact that videos are available for everybody. They're not just for people who do really highly professional ones. They are ones that even I can manage, which is really just to record something on my phone and then do a wee bit of editing and put it onto LinkedIn. So there are other formats as well that are doing really well, but video is the hot one right this minute. Associated with that, and the fourth strategy, is engagement. Because when you post content on LinkedIn, you will get more eyes, called impressions, on your posts if in fact you have commented on other people's posts. And the more you comment on other people's posts, the better, because those people will then want to comment on your post, and also you'll be seen by the people in that person's network. So say, for example, when you put out this podcast, you put up a post that talks about me being on your podcast. Well, I'm going to zoom along to your post and I'm going to talk about how lovely it's been to be here and to have this conversation. And then everybody who is in your network will see my comment and then potentially go and have a look at my profile. And we've already talked about how important it is to have a good profile. And from there, they will either follow me or want to connect to me. And so you can see how it all ties together. So you've got, first of all, connecting, then you've got sending messages, posting, and engagement. And those are the 4 linkability strategies.
Thank you so much, Lynnaire. So actually, the 4th point is my absolutely favorite point. In fact, to be very honest, because I usually do 2 posts per week, and initially I started with posts. But at a certain point of time, I got to see your post about the power of community in others people. Okay, until then I was very I don't have any idea about that. But when I started community, it is actually true. My post started to show in their feeds, and whatever they post now, it came into my feed. So that's how algorithm works, and it's real. So many people it is actually overlooked, to be very honest. And more than that, more than about reach, if you are just posting a comment and just delivering whatever you feel about that post, and it's not that you can expect the response from their end as well, because people not tend to comment much more. But although people must, because it does 2 things. It increases their network, improves their network, and obviously they can see a lot more information from the person who they committed to. So that's the 4th point, according to me, is very favorite. And I'm doing it, maintaining that discipline ever since I known about that. And even now, LinkedIn has added these comments and posts to the, impressions page. Before it was not there, because they know that these things are very important and they've added it. Thank you so much for bringing up that in your strategies. It is very important. On the same note, people are not commenting, right? So what are the few important, common mistakes you see within people? What are the people doing this? So can you spot out some common mistakes so that they can correct it right away?
Right, common mistakes generally, or just to do with commenting?
Not just about commenting, it's general common mistakes, what especially beginners or medium people do.
All right. The main mistake that people make is, and I'll go back to this again, not having their profile completed. So that when people go to visit their profile, they don't actually want to connect or follow them. So everything that you do on LinkedIn goes back to having your profile complete. And once you have got that done, then you can start to reach out to other people, start to post content, and to really engage with people. So the main mistakes around posting that I see are people writing posts that could go on Facebook or Insta or other platforms that are not long enough. They do not have enough text in them for people to feel like they are learning something or getting to know you or understanding your topic. Because a lot of people go to LinkedIn to learn. And that's certainly how I learned on LinkedIn, was by looking at other people's posts. But if your posts are only 2 lines long, then there's very little for people to be able to comment on. And it doesn't help because the algorithm doesn't like that. So more recently, posts have become a little longer. And it's really important, I think, to make sure that your posts look and sound good. They need to be well written, and you can use Grammarly or AI to be able to make sure that you've got everything correct, because it's not a good look if people come across mistakes or they can't understand your message. Now, I'm lucky. English is my first language. It's a terribly difficult language to learn, and I'm so pleased that I've never had to try. But it is easy to find ways that you can improve your English and write in English, and posts that are completed and posted in English do better than those in other languages. Now, it's important too, I think, to remember who your audience is and to know what your audience likes. Now, if your audience likes videos, then you need to be posting videos. If your audience doesn't like videos and prefers to have long-form content, for example, an article or a newsletter, then it's important to use that too. So I really think that the basics are around making sure that you think about what it's like to read your content or to consume it. Will people understand your message, or is it too complicated for them? Are you trying to get across too many things? In which case you should simplify it and make it 1 point per message or per post. So I think your grammar needs to be good, your punctuation and spelling need to make you look professional. And if you can do all of that, then people will read your post. But don't forget that we have seen a big drop in organic reach this year. It's harder to get people to see your post. And mainly it will be your second-degree connections who will be seeing your post. So there are a lot of factors involved in being successful on LinkedIn, but start with content that people want to read. Make it interesting. Have a good first sentence or a headline that grabs attention and makes people stop and want to read it, because they'll only see the first few lines of your post. If it's a video and it's in the video feed, they won't see any text at all. So if you're creating a video, make your first few words real showstoppers so that people will stop and have a listen and a look at your entire video. I really do think that video is going to become more and more important on LinkedIn. And it's a great business tool. So make sure that you're learning how to use it and use it well. Because if I can do it, so can anyone.
Actually, it's very well put, especially the video part. So that showstopper thing, I've been very using it to a greater extent. So I can say that it's working very well. Although I don't post video content yet, I'm still listening to the new feature. I'm going to explore it. The content part is totally, to be honest, it's to be totally sure, and that must be done, because the content part, many people are delivering it out on a very important thing. Like some people I see, they go with just 2 lines, maximum 3 lines, and they am looking for something. Can you help me with that? No. What are you doing and what do you offer? So that's how it needs to be. I even commented out on such posts, like, can you give me some specifics? Then they're commenting it out on that same thing. So thank you so much for pointing it out on that, because that is the most blunders we do here in this platform. Especially, I'm not sure about globally, especially for this country, I see a lot of posts in such a way. On that same note, Lynnaire, thank you so much on that part. So, like, people are doing few mistakes, right? So let's say I'm doing only about the professional. So what are the many important features like professions are leaving out? Like that may be some simple features or download features, but many are still not using it. Or is it in the hidden parts that they need to look on? Say anything you need to show some light on. It will be helpful for us.
All right. So, of course, we need to remember that there are two levels of LinkedIn. There are those who have the free LinkedIn account, and then those who pay for it, who have a premium or a premium business account. And if you have premium business, then you have access to a lot more features than you do if you are on a free account. But if you are just starting out on LinkedIn, don't pay for a premium account because it's not very cheap. And you can do a lot with the free version. And that's where I think people should start. So the thing that most people don't remember to do is to get recommendations. And the reason they forget about this is because it's right at the end of their profile. But it's really important to have good social proof on your LinkedIn profile from other people saying how good you are at what you do. So to get recommendations, here's my secret tip. You should give recommendations. It's the rule of reciprocity, and it comes around a bit like the ones with commenting. If you comment on other people's posts, they'll comment on yours. If you write recommendations for other people, then they are likely to write them for you. But don't be afraid to ask people for recommendations either. You may not be in a position to be able to recommend somebody else, although often you can if you think about it a little bit more closely. But you can write recommendations for people and ask them to write one for you. But you shouldn't really expect that. I think on LinkedIn, it's all about giving and giving first, because then people will give back. And I think that's really important. So recommendations, I think, are a really important thing that a lot of people forget. Another basic feature that I think is often overlooked is the featured section. Now, I didn't mention this when I was talking about profiles earlier on because it's not really a basic necessity on a profile. But the featured section allows you to have imagery that backs up what you're saying about your skills and your expertise. And so on that section, you can have videos, you can have images, you can have PDFs, or you can link to other sites. So if, for example, you've got a great video about you on YouTube, then you can link to that on LinkedIn through LinkedIn and the featured section and show that on your LinkedIn profile. And that sits quite high in your section, your profile, so people will see it. Nice big thumbnails really helps the visual nature of it. When I first started on LinkedIn, there were very few photos, no videos at all. And now it is a really visual platform. So make the most of it. Use Canva to create some great images and really make your profile stand out. Because if you are looking for a job or looking to bring in new clients or freelancing, you need to stand out from your competition. And having a good LinkedIn profile that shows how good you are and through use of these extra features is a really good way to go about it. Because whoever Googles you and Googles your name, they're going to see your LinkedIn profile because it will come up in the first few searches in Google.
Actually, that's nice. For the first part is my favorite, actually, recommendation part. So, if you have a chance to see my profile, so that'll be, if you click the view online, this will open a new page itself, because that's a lot of recommendation I've had it. The stories, long story short, how I had it, that's your point. I've given recommendation, I've got a response for that recommendation. I've never gone on asking for a recommendation. I have to give it in order to take something. So that's, I only believe in that logic, because I've been give first. Nevertheless, that's how I've given recommendation for my co-workers, for my underlings, for my friends, for my colleagues, everyone. And they have humbly responded, because it's obviously, if you give a recommendation, it goes into their DM. Okay, they'll be so happy that you have given some glowing recommendation for them. So they'll just either respond or some very good people, they'll just recommend me back. We go into my profile and they'll recommend me back. And some even go one step ahead and show me glowing recommendations, more than what they did. So that's one of my very favorite. In fact, thank you so much for bringing that. It's more than 95% of profile. I don't see recommendations being used a lot, but it's being viewed by some people actually to character assisting or just silently assist your profile. More just let alone all that. It's just about taking some time to give time for others. It's just a part of the networking thing which I'm speaking from the start. So when I started this thing, this is the first thing came to my mind. If I'm going to ask sometimes from somebody, I need to spend the same time. The left-hand side must be equal to the right-hand side. So that the law will apply for everything. So on the same note, I cannot agree more on whatever the point you said, because it's 100% true and I've experienced those things. So on the other one, right? So then thank you so much for that one. So many people, especially now when you said at the start, beginners need to start with the profile, right? So when they start the profile, many are coming out of college and some are handling with the introversion thing. So how they have huge communication issue, what they need to do in order to improve their communication skill, both as English language and also the general communication skill.
I think that it will depend upon the individual person largely and where their issues are. I've been experimenting with AI recently because the whole world is turning to AI, and I think it's really important to learn how to do that. And what I've found with it is that if you give AI some really good instructions or prompts about what you want it to do, say you want to create a post on LinkedIn, you know what your points are that you want to make. If you put the right prompts into AI, it will generate a post for you that you can then edit to make it sound like you. And that way you are getting some really good professional help, if you like to look at it like that. And you can be a bit more confident that your finished post is going to meet a certain standard. Now, I understand that it's difficult for a lot of people to show off, I think is how people call it on LinkedIn. But I think it's important to realize that it's not showing off. What you are doing, in fact, is you are sharing your knowledge and your expertise with other people. And they, if they're interested in what you have to say, need to learn it and want to learn it. So turn it around. Instead of seeing it as something that you are shoving down people's throats, see it as something that you are giving them as a gift instead. Because yes, I understand that communication can be difficult. English is a terrible language. So if you use professional tools like Grammarly or ChatGPT or others that really do help with what you are looking to do, then I think that you will find that becomes easier over time. It's difficult for me to put myself in the shoes of people who struggle with this because I have been a professional writer all my life. I can't stop it. It's almost worse for me, really, because I can't stop the words coming. And so I have to do the opposite. I have to edit my words really a lot so I don't get to the maximum of post length, which is 3,000 characters. So yes, I understand that it's not easy for people who struggle with English or who have other reasons why it's not easy for them. But perseverance will win out. Now, LinkedIn is a worldwide platform with more than 1 billion members. The biggest growth market, bar none, is India. And so if you are not on LinkedIn in India, then in fact you are missing out, because this is a major opportunity for you to stand out ahead of other people who may be going for the same jobs, the same freelance work, or the same client. So it's a worthwhile spending time on it. And my advice is to look at how other people are doing it. See what works. And you can generally tell what works by the number of comments on a post or the reactions to it. and find something that works that you think is something that you would like to do, and then hone that particular skill. So it might be writing a post and creating an image, or it might be you're really good with documents, PDFs and presentations. Then really double down on that and do it really well on LinkedIn. It takes time. LinkedIn is a marathon, not a sprint. So don't expect massive results immediately. Or if you do get massive results immediately, be really, really pleased because it takes time. It takes time to build your confidence. It takes time to build your knowledge, and it takes time to build your network. And so one of the things that I do is I have a members site where people can come to learn about this content and about posting and about various aspects of LinkedIn, because, it's quite hard to find lots of useful information online, and some of it can be quite contradictory. But I really stick to the basics and work hard to make sure that my members understand how LinkedIn works and how to make it work for them.
That is that's very good actually, because it's not just about just starting with a profile alone and whatever, because it's completely based on what individual is and what are they aspiring to be and what are they looking to achieve through this platform, and they can exhibit their skills accordingly and they can get the reach and rewards out of it. That's actually, in fact, it can be customized based on individual. So it can't be just put into a general thing. So yeah, that totally works. And then I've been trying to ask you from the start. So you have worked and with wide range of professionals and multiple industries. So you see multiple industries in LinkedIn. So are there any networking tips that apply universally regardless of any field? Let's say I'm coming from textile one. So another guy is coming from a company side. So let's say, do you find any kind of universal tips you can give for both people? You already spoke many, but just want to get some last tips from you before we sign off.
People are people. People like to talk to people. They like to learn from people. And just before coming on this podcast today, I met with a man today in person, actually, who's from Japan. And we met on LinkedIn. We live in the same city, but now we have struck up a business friendship which opens the door to collaboration. Now, the reason I went to meet him is because he's from another culture and because I'm always interested in people. So treat people the way that you want to be treated. Yes, I know it's online and not in person, but you still need to be your best professional self. Whatever you're doing, whether you're reaching out to new connections, whether you're posting content or engaging on other people's content, show up as your best professional self, because you do not know who's watching, and your future employer might be watching you now and what you are doing on LinkedIn, and you may never know. So treat LinkedIn like a professional platform. It's not like TikTok. It's not like Instagram. Treat it as you would a job or your professional work. And I think that that's really important to remember, because on LinkedIn, we show up as our real selves with our real names and our real photos. And you don't want to not look your absolutely best professional self. So my last tip is to make sure that you always come across in a professional way, in a professional manner, and treat other people with respect.
That's in fact that is the point I was trying to convey from the start, because people tend to use the platform intended to build one thing, but the platform's usage is one other differently in the country. So thank you so much for bringing out that, because the platform needs to serve its purpose, and obviously the need to connect with the people. That is the universal thing that's going to universally connect with everyone and bring everyone together from all the different fields. That should work totally. And I don't think I can sit you with anymore, because I don't want to, because you have given plethora of information for the beginners, let alone beginners, for anybody who's aspiring to do something in LinkedIn. And we all know what the power is, especially I'd say I know. And I just got some more information sitting with you and discuss more things that will come out of it. And I'm very sure that the discussion came out of it is very positive and it can benefit, let's say, thousands or even millions if this comes up. And you're doing an incredible job. And just fans who are just for listening to it, they'll make sure that they follow you and whatever updates it give you, and at least let the platform inspire themselves. And now it's one of the favorite platform, to be honest. It actually, next to WhatsApp, I use LinkedIn a lot. So exactly. So I believe, because I believe in the power of networking. My friend here in this stage, right, so she used to say, network is your net worth. So I don't know where she got it. So she...
famous saying. It's very well known internationally. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, your network is your net worth. Absolutely.
Actually, thank you. I didn't know about it because she used to say it to me. Like, you always speak about network, but that's the saying, network is a net worth. So that's very overlooked because it's just the people. Sorry, I'm just tagging you along for a long time. So, but you have been inspiring a lot, and you deserve this. And I believe Linkability is going to inspire a lot. So, I'll just, without keeping you further ado, I'll just wrap up this exciting session with you. And I hope listeners are all inspired to put the tips which were shared by Lynnaire into action and try to carry forward. Don't forget to, yes, Lynnaire, are you about to say something?
Just wanted to say thank you so much for having me. I've enjoyed our conversation. And I really just love the way that LinkedIn allows people like us to reach out across the world.
Thank you so much. It was indeed the honors in mine. And listeners, don't forget to check out Lynnaire's book on Linkability for more powerful insights, and please follow her on LinkedIn. That's what this episode is all about, for regular tips and boost your professional journey. And thanks for tuning into this. Just stay tuned for our next episode where we'll dive into more topics to empower your personal and professional growth. Until then, take care and keep connecting. Thank you.